Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa here, the best third/fourth tier Pokemon PvP player in the world. And as you can see on the leaderboard right there, maybe that's true. I had a pretty insane run. I started 18-2 in the Remix Cup, and that got me to 3,200 before I promptly fell right off the leaderboard. So I wanted to show you how I got there, the thought process behind the team, and then why it didn't work in the ending, showing some of my losses. So first, thank you for those who have subscribed. Please consider subscribing as I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos, including some new, more spicy teams. And my team comp, so how did I come up with this team? So first, for those of you who don't know PvPoke, Go, it's a great site that allows you to fiddle around with team comps, tells you what's going to be the meta, what is going to be the strongest for the league. So as you can see, Metacham and Bastion are the first and second. So what you can do is you can click on the Metachamp, it'll show you the key losses, their key wins and key losses. You can also scroll a bit down and it'll tell you what their effect, weaknesses and resistances are. So I know Metachamp is weak to Fairy because I used the Charm Ninetails in my previous video, so that was going to be my lead. And then when you go to Bastion, you can go look at the weaknesses. Again, key losses, Deox. Deox was also a key loss for Metachamp. So I'm going to pair the Charm Ninetails on the lead for the Metachamp with a Deox sort of safe switch to take out the Bastion in the back, because we expect with 1 and 2 on the ratings here that they're going to be very prevalent in this Remix Cup. So what you can then do is they have a team builder, which will you put them together and it'll give you kind of a rating with how well they will perform with the meta. And it will also show you your weaknesses. So with Deox and Ninetails, as you'll see down, so the coverage is okay, bulk's decent, and my weaknesses are Deox defense, and then there's some kind of ones you don't really see as much. And then it provides recommendation, and one of the top recommendations was Mandibuzz. It knows it deals with Deox defense, it'll deal with sort of Sableye, it does help with Metachamp as well, and it can do some coverage on the steals, which we'll see in the games. So that's my thought process behind the team, and let's get into the battles and see what happens. So in this first battle, so my run 18-2 had a lot of good leads. Good, not great, not amazing leads, but at least neutral. So we come in here with the mirror match, but they had Powder Snow. So they switch into the Politoed, I charm a bit, and then switch into the Mandibuzz. My my tip for this video is bulk is always better. One of the teams that you see a lot in the Ultra League is double weak to fighting Snorlax Lapras. And that's because they can just take so much raw damage that even if you have a counter user come in, you're going to burn one of their shields or at least do enough chip damage. So that's the same thought process here. Mandibuzz is a tank, and it can take super effective hits and still just keep going. So we managed to take out the Politoed, and we did some good chip damage on the Ninetails. So make an aggressive swap back in, block the Dazzling Gleam, and they have a Jellicent. So this is no problem. I don't have the Psyshock like I said last time, so I'm going to build up to the Psyshock and throw the Weather Ball. And again, your main output of damage on the Charm Ninetails is the Charm. These sort of charge move damage isn't really why you have a Charm Ninetails on your team. So I'm going to block everything up here and just chip down here. As you can see, I'm trying to click on Mandibuzz because I want to go in and because it would be super effective, Dark against the Jellicent, but I couldn't get in at times, so I was able to get it low enough that I can just come in with Deox and counter down, and then they realized that it was over. So going into the second game, we have Ninetails against the Mirror Match, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is just Shiny Flex. So this time, same thing. They have Powder Snow, get a bunch of lag there, so I do not know what their count is at. So I block here. They throw the Dazzling Gleam, which is good. So I can probably, I don't know if I could farm down because I didn't know what their charge moves were at, so I just decided to throw there. And out comes the Jellicent. So again, I build up, throw the weather ball, and I was just watching this back, and so they're going to throw a charge move, and I have the Mandibuzz that will deal with this great, but I decided to shield here. I think my thought process at the time was Jellicent does not have a good matchup against a Charm Ninetails because I can just Charm hit this down really hard. So they must have something in the back that does not want to see this Ninetails. So I preserve the health on it, switch into the Mandibuzz, absorb what's only a Bubble Beam, which is fine, and there's your Sableye, which does not want to see the Charm. So the great thing about Mandibuzz is, one, it's so tanky, and two, these these charge moves don't do too bad. So one charge move off, even after a Bubble Beam nerf, lowered my attack one. Two, I only need three to take out the Sableye. And we have a Purified Sableye, so watch how much this return does. 50%, 55%. So Mandibuzz is a really, really strong Pokemon in this overall, quite honestly, but especially in this. Well, I wouldn't say especially in this, and you'll see why later. With all the charms out there, I tried to run a double dark team, but with all the charms, it did not work. So, and this one, this game was over after the Mandibuzz took care of the Sableye. So that's 2 wins. And we have Vigoroth. So Vigoroth is a Pokemon I do not have a good one of, so I wish I did. So out comes, I did some chip damage, and out comes a Wigglytuff. And I'm immediately thinking, crap, this is going to be a Vigoroth double charm team, isn't it? So I'm not switching out here. I'm going to do as much damage as I can and come in with my Deox. So they come back in with a Vigoroth, and I decide to shield this up. So I'm a little, I still think that there's something in the back that is going to be, that's going to hurt my Mandibuzz. It's either going to be a Charmer or some sort of wall to the Mandibuzz. So I shielded the first one just to protect. I'm going to throw here, and I think I'm going to immediately switch into Mandibuzz just to get whatever's in the back out, just to see what it is. And out comes Bastiodon. So you may be thinking, okay, you're in trouble. And yes, the rock, I forget what the fast move is, but it's a rock type move, is super effective against Mandibuzz. But watch how much damage the Mandibuzz can output because it charges 4-3-4-3 on the fast moves. And you can just keep spamming these moves. So that's 3 I've already got off. So even super effective charge moves, I still get 4 foul plays off. And that is enough to lower this into the red. So now I can come in, I can shield once and farm down, and then I'll have enough loaded energy to throw a charge move at the Vigoroth. And they realized that and backed out. So even against a tough matchup like Bastiodon, Mandibuzz can still put in some work if it has at least some energy advantage. So the next matchup is a Diggersby. So Diggersby is an interesting one. I have one myself. I don't really like using it because it doesn't hit too hard. I counted the moves and caught the Earthquake on my Mandibuzz, which is great because it absorbed a lot of energy. And now, oh boy, I apologize. Now we have a Mandibuzz mirror match, which if you thought the Azu mirrors match was rough, yeah, sorry. So we're just gonna be throwing aerial aces, air slashes at each other. Air slash? No, aerial ace at each other. And I'm keeping as much charge as I can, sort of building up to 2, throwing 1, just so I have some charge energy. Because I think what I want to do here is go back into my, there it is. I want to go back in, get the 2 charms off, which hurt, and get our weather ball off. So he's going to have to shield, or he's going to take a lot of damage here. So he shields. Out comes the Diggersby. Diggersby does have Fire Punch, so I'm surprised they didn't throw it the first time. So I shield up here. Weather Ball is ice, so it does actually super effective against the Diggersby. So that'll go down there. And out comes a Hypno. So I think I'm going to throw, I have a little bit left on the Mandibuzz, which is super effective against Hypno. And I came into the Deox. Why did I do that? Oh, I think it's because the Hypno had enough, and I don't know why I blocked it there. That was, okay. two things happened there. I came in with my Deox because it had enough energy and I wanted the Deox to absorb some of the energy. I made a mistake and shielded there because you needed to save the shields for the Mandibuzz because the Foul Play is going to do far more than anything else that the Hypno would do unless it's a Shadow Ball. And maybe they were at 5, so that's maybe why I shielded. Either way, Deox is again a bulky one that can absorb a lot of energy, a lot of damage, so even with Hypno throwing, I still managed to survive. So that's my fourth, and this is the last one. So another charm, I think it's a charm this time. So this, we're just charming each other. So I throw here, and you can see right there, why do I keep hitting, sorry. Right there you saw the animation go through. So, which means that they got an extra charm in there, which means that this is probably just Weather Ball, but because they got that one extra charm in, I'm going to go down before they go down. So I come with the Deox, and it's a Sableye, so I immediately switch, and a Bronzong, which is very, very spicy, but not something you want to go up against a Mandibuzz against, because these foul plays are super effective, and I'm able to get the second one off before they get their first move off, which I don't even think they have a move that hurt Mandibuzz. So now we're in an even 2 shield scenario with Mandibuzz and Sableye, and I still have a full Deox in the back. But I think my win condition is with Mandibuzz, and it's a non-purified, so it's running Power Gem, which is super effective against the Mandibuzz. So I'm just going to keep spamming these moves. I think I can outpace here, and we'll see what it comes down to. I'm probably shielding the second one, and they baited me with a foul play, which is smart on their end. I switch. So my thought process on this switch was, they're going to need to throw, one foul play will not take out Deox. Again, it's very tanky, so they will need to throw 2. By that time, I'm either going to get to the charge move or they're going to be dry, and then if they're dry, I can come in back with the Mandibuzz and just foul play to take it out. So 5-0, that's how I got to 3,200. Now you may be wondering, okay, you had good leads. What happens if you have a bad lead? In short, you lose. So I'm going to go through some of these plays. So Registeel, I should immediately be switching into to Mandibuzz here. I don't know why I let him load up there like I did. So out comes your Charmer. So this is why Darks are tough to run here, because there's a lot of Charmers. So I'm just doing Air Lace chip damage as much as I can. And it does actually put it quite low, but now the Ninetails is going to be loaded. So I'm able to get it in the red that I think 1 charm or 2 charms is going to take it out. So I got the second one through. So I'm worried that this could be like a Dazzling Gleam, so I shield it up. It's just a Weather Ball, but this will go down because my charm went through. So I immediately need to switch. Again, Deox is so tanky that you can just absorb this Flash Cannon. And then it's a Jellicent, and 2 shield Jellicent and versus a 1 shield Deox, and I don't have, and my team isn't lined up properly here. It's over, and they even called the Rock Slide bait. So I'm pretty sure I'd lose 2 shield to nothing here. But I think I just stayed in because I think this was the first time I wanted to see how much a Registeel Flash Cannon would do against a Ninetails. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. It's everything. It takes me out in one shot here. So that's why I'm not even throwing, because I know I can't win here. So I just want to see how much damage this does. And it's super effective, and goodbye. So for future warning, if you're going to use a Ninetails, be aware that you need to block those Flash Cannons. So Bastiodon, terrible, terrible lead. Ninetails has no play. Mandibuzz, as we saw in the other one, has a little bit of play. It can do some chip damage. Why I didn't come into my Deox there was because that's my own counter. So if I came in with my Deox right away, then they could switch out, let's say, if I don't know what they have in the back, but Sableye, Jellicent, take my Deox down, and then I have no chance. At least my thought process here is, let's chip as much damage as you can. So I got 50% down. then wait out the timer and come in with my Deox, so that way I can either counter down or they're going to force to switch. So, and they switch to a Sableye. So that's okay. I'm going to let this go. I'm just going to counter charm down, let this go because I'm just food for the Bastiodon anyways. So take it out, do as much chip damage as I can here, and I'm just praying that a Deox 2 shielded in the back can take out whatever they have. So I think I'm going to have to shield here because I don't know what they have in the back yet, and this always shield the charge moves in my opinion. And so I counter this down, no problem, and it's another Jellicent. So this is again, Mandibuzz is dark is good because there are a lot of Jellicents. You can deal with the Sableye, but the Charmers really make it difficult. And so once I was one-on-one with the Jellicent, I knew it was done. Melmetal here, I think is where I made a couple mistakes. So I'm staying in just to see how much these charms do, and they're not doing too bad. So I tried to either catch on my Deox. So Melmetal has Superpower and Rock Slide. And Rock Slide is going to be super effective against both Mandibuzz and my Ninetails. So I'm going to shield this up because I need to preserve some health on this Deox, because I need to try and counter it down. So I'm going to get off. I think I'm going to try and get out of this matchup into my Mandibuzz, because again, Mandibuzz doesn't have a good matchup, but it's tanky enough that it can take some Rock Slides, and it charges fast enough that I can hopefully get some foul plays off. And a Politoed comes in. So this is not too bad. I can spam these foul plays, and it's doing enough damage. Again, I want to try and save a shield for my Deox. So I let this go, which in hindsight maybe was a mistake, but you can't look in hindsight because I get Blizzard. And super effective Blizzard, it doesn't kill me, which shows just you how tanky Mandibuzz is, that a super effective Blizzard does not take it out. But it put me low enough that a 2 shielded Melmetal is going to have its way with this team. So in comes the Melmetal, it's going to Rock Slide, take me out. I come in with probably the Deox, and they throw, so I need to preserve this health. So great play on their part right here. I try and throw immediately. They come in and snipe with their own Deox, able to get some chip damage off and burn my energy. So I'm pissed at this point, but it was a great play by my opponent because now I'm energy dry. So I'm building up. I'm going to throw here, and I think I'm worried about getting farmed down. So I'm going to switch into my Ninetails to see if I can get this off, and I can, but I still think they have one more shield left because yeah. So Charming and one Rock Slide I don't think is enough to take me out. It's not, because Melmetal doesn't hit super strong, but Melmetal is spamming. So back-to-back Rock Slides here will take me out, and now it's a race, and I was one counter away, but that's a good match. So what would I do differently with this team? So you have, I think, 2 options here. If you want to keep, I think the problem is you really have no play against a Steel line if you don't have another counter user in the back. So you can run, if you want to keep a Dark, you can run, instead of Mandibuzz, run a Scrafty. The pro is you now have counter for those other Registeel Bastiodon, and you still have the foul play to take care of your Jellicent, which we saw a few of. The problem is you are still weak to Charm, and you are now weak to counter. So Metachamp is now going to take you out. A Vigoroth is also a pretty good switch in. Same sort of issue. Vigoroth can deal with the Bastiodon Registeel. It will take effective damage against the Metachamp, so you're going to lose that match, but it won't take super effective from the charms. And it's very spammy, so you can at least do a lot of chip damage in those matches. So those are 2 options I would think about if you're trying to use this team. I know a lot of people don't have Deox, So in my next video, I'm going to start using teams that you have access to. Because again, this channel I think is for people who aren't going to be the sort of first and second tiers that have access to millions of dust and all the Pokemon double move and know everything. It's sort of more the just trying to grind your way through. So I hope you're watching. Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.